A few years ago, I got into an argument with a friend. This person, whose company I enjoy and whose work I respect, had declared the following to aspiring creatives on Twitter. You should spend 20% of your time creating content and 80% of your time promoting it. This kind of thinking sounds right. Lines like that are easy to repeat at conferences and cocktail parties. It styles the speaker as part of some bold new breed of creator, not one of the old stodgy dinosaurs. In its own way, it is inspiring too, saying, don't overthink it, just get out there and hustle. There's only one problem. It's terrible advice. So terrible that I know that the successful entrepreneur who said it could never have gotten to where he is if he'd actually followed his own advice. He didn't have a large audience just because he was good at marketing. His successful marketing was dependent on the fact that he had a great product. Not only was he a counterexample of that very line of thinking, I can't say I know too many people whose success was built by spending 1/5 of their time creating and 4/5 loudly hawking the work they've just thrown together. While there are many different types of success in this world, and prioritizing marketing and sales over the product may lead to some of them, that is not how perennial success is created. The kind of important, lasting work we are striving for is different. We are talking about making something that doesn't rely on hype or manipulative sales tactics, because those methods aren't sustainable, and they do an injustice to great work. Even as someone who loves the challenge and creativity and rigor of marketing, I'm alarmed at how many creators gloss over the creating. They fritter away their time on Twitter and Facebook, not killing time, but believing they are building up followers to be the recipients of their unremarkable work. They have meticulously crafted brands and impeccable personae crafted through media training. They spend money on courses and read books on marketing to develop sales strategies for products they haven't even made yet. All this churn may feel productive, but to what end? To make something that will eventually disappear with the wind? Even the best admin will admit that over the long term, all the marketing in the world won't matter if the product hasn't been made right. In fact, it's a classic measure once, cut twice scenario, in that the better your product is, the better your marketing will be. The worse it is, the more time you will have to spend marketing, and the less effective every minute of that marketing will be. You can count on that. Promotion is not how things are made great, only how they're heard about, which is why this book will not start with marketing, but with the mindset and effort that must go into the creative process, the most important part of creating a perennial seller. The work is what matters. The first step of any creator hoping for lasting success, whether for 10 years or 10 centuries, is to accept that hope has nothing to do with it. To be great, one must make great work, and making great work is incredibly hard. It must be our primary focus. We must set out, from the beginning, with complete and total commitment to the idea that our best chance of success starts during the creative process. The decisions and behaviors that will bring you to creating the product, everything you do before you sit down to build whatever it is you're building, trump any individual marketing decisions, no matter how attention-grabbing they turn out to be. And as we'll see later, those creative decisions can be critical marketing decisions in themselves. Crappy products don't survive. If you have phoned in the creative process, disrespected it, built a mediocre product, compromised, told yourself, hey, we'll figure the rest out later, then the project is likely doomed before it's even finished. The battle will be futile and expensive. Look at basically everything Microsoft has made in the last decade, from the Zune to Bing. That poor company seems resigned to spending billions on marketing products that inevitably lose money. Meanwhile, Microsoft Office is still a cash cow after 2.5 decades. I'm editing this book with it. That's why all the pre-work matters so much. The conceptualization, the motivations, the product's fit with the market, the execution. These intangible factors matter a great deal. They cannot be skipped, they can't be bolted on later. So if not with a keen eye towards marketing, where do we properly begin our pursuit of a perennial seller? As my mentor Robert Greene put it starts by wanting to create a classic. Bill Libin, the co-founder of Evernote, has a quote I like to share with clients. People who are thinking about things other than making the best product never make the best product. We are not just talking about making something that is the best for the hell of it. As legendary investor and Y Combinator founder Paul Graham explains, the best way to increase a startup's growth rate is to make the product so good people recommend it to their friends. Clearly, that doesn't just happen. Instead, it must be the highest priority of the creators. They must see this as their calling. They must study the classic work in their fields, emulate the masters and the greats, and what made their work last. Timelessness must be their highest priority. They have to learn to ignore distractions. Above all, they have to want to produce meaningful work, which, I can say from experience, is not often the goal of people in the creative space. The fact is, many people approach their work with polluted intentions. They want the benefits of creative expression, but they desire it without any of the difficulty involved. They want the magic without learning the techniques and the formula. When we look to the great works of history as our example, we see one thing, that powerful work is a struggle and that it requires great sacrifice. The desire for lasting greatness makes the struggle survivable, the sacrifice worth it.